JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 22nd of November 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So you have to check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I'm going to pick up here is Nikkei 225. To be honest, again, not much has changed here, and the same analysis remains. Basically, we're waiting for that clear pop above this 29,880 zone in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. And as I said before, I would like to see a nice daily close here above that barrier first, and then yep, we could go for the upside. Shanghai Composite, so this one is looking quite positive. As you can see here, we popped above this barrier, this 3,553. I mentioned this before last week, and yep, so far so good. The idea is working out. My next target is the 3,615 territory, approximately around here. For the downside, now, again, I'll stick to the same level here, this 3,515 territory. Might do the trick for a few more sellers if we see the index falling somewhere below this area. Jumping into the German index DAX, and yep, there we go. So we've declined on Friday and we drifted lower, but again, this move lower could be seen as a correction, as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying, because as you can see, we're still remain above this upside line taken from the low the 6th of October. Now if we take a look at the cash index right now and see where we are at this moment, we'll see that the price is currently sitting at around 16,172 mark, so basically above Friday's close, and still above this upside line. So then there's still hope that this could go higher. However, at this point, to be honest, I'll take a very careful approach, and if I would like to aim for some higher levels, well, I would rather stick to this 16,290 zone, which is the current all-time high. Now jumping into the Dow Jones Industrial Average, now this one is on the weaker side, as you can see here. So it is in the near term, I mean, it seems that it could continue drifting a little bit lower here. However, don't forget that overall we are trading above some of these upside lines here, and one of which is this one, this kind of long-term upside support line taken from the low the 30th of October. So in a way, even if we do see a bit of a drift lower here in the near term, still this could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So in other words, something like this could be possible here. In case we decide not to decline here, I mean, decide if it holds up somewhere here and then rebounds, well, still I would like to, for the upside, I would still like to see a nice good break of this downside line, and then yes, we could go for some higher levels. Now jumping into, and for the downside, of course, for a larger move to the downside, certainly a drop below this upside line at least would be needed. However, as I said before, I mean, this is a bit of a tentative line, so we would rather stick to some of the key support levels, so one of which could be this 35,000 territory. Jumping into the DXY dollar index, so this one reversed nicely to the upside, pushed back above this 95.72 zone, the one that I mentioned before, and is now testing the current all-time high, the current highest point of November near the 96.24 zone. Now, if you're looking for some higher levels, guys, then, well, of course, be very careful. We did already have quite a decent steep up move here, but of course, I will keep an eye on some of these levels. For example, this 96.38 zone, or we could go even a little bit further north, because as you can see here, we do have some good potential targets, one of which of course is this 97.80 zone, and yeah, that could be the more attractive option, of course. But on the way towards that level, we do have some obstacles here. So in other words, be very careful. I mean, this could one of those could also play out. So they're not ideal, I would say. I mean, looking at this, I mean, maybe this could be a nice target, this 97.11. However, they're all very very kind of tentative here, and yeah, so for now I'm gonna keep an eye on this current highest point of November. If that gets broken, then yes, I will go for the upside, for further upside. Now for the downside, I need to get rid of this level probably, or actually, you know what, I'm gonna leave it for now. Just because it kind of wasn't a very nice it was a very nice level here in the past, but I'll keep it for now. But what I'm going to look at here is, let me just grab probably, so this one right here, I'll recycle this one. Let me just bear with me one moment. So, is this the, okay, so this is one of those levels. Now I need to get rid of that one. Let me just grab this. So for the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 95.52 zone right here, marked by the low of the 18th of November, and then yes, we could, sorry, 18th of November, yes, 18th of November, and then yes, we could go maybe for a bit of a larger correction here to the downside. So let's keep an eye on that one. Jumping into gold, so gold is tricky one, but quite interesting. So we are seeing a bit of a retracement after this decent up move here. Let me just check how much is it on the Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so we have dropped below that 23.6% retracement, so okay. In a way, the next target could be this this 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, which is roughly around that 1832 zone. However, do have this interesting level here, this 1834, which marks the highest point of July and the highest point of September, and maybe this could this time act as a nice strong area of support. If so, we might see a nice rebound and a push back up. However, in order for me to, let's say, to be a little bit more on the careful side, I would rather, if I'm looking for some upside, I would rather stick to this level right here, this 1877 barrier. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high. For the downside, now a drop below this 1834 territory here could do the trigger, as I said before, to a few more sellers, but we'll be very careful. I'm also going to keep an eye on this 21-day EMA just to see if we get a breakthrough both of those. Then, well, this is where I'll class kind of, or say not class, but I'll get a little bit more comfortable with lower levels. Now, jumping into WTI oil, so continues to drift nicely to the downside. Everything's according to the plan. So if you remember last week, I talked about this this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 10th of November, when I said that if the line continues to provide resistance, then yep, another drop could be possible, and especially if we fall below the 76.88 territory, well, yep, further declines could be possible as well. So we drifted lower. We found support near this 100-day EMA again, because last time we did that was back at the end of August, or in the beginning of September. So let's see, of course, if we manage to drop below this time, and if we do, then of course my next target is the 73.11 here, marked by the high of the 15th of September and the low of the 30th of September. Or we could continue drifting lower all the way towards that 200-day EMA. But again, let's go slowly on this one. For now, I'm keeping an eye on this downside line, and yeah, let's see how this is going to play out. And of course, if it starts dropping and stays below this 100-day EMA, then yep, my next target is the 73.11. Bitcoin. So looking at this, let me just actually remove everything and start fresh. So first of all, you can see that we are trading still above this upside line taken from the low of the 20th of July. So in a way, this move lower that we're seeing right now could be classed as a temporary correction. So as you can see, we're also trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 10th of November. So yep. And now I would say, if you're looking for some downside in the near term, then well, at least wait for a drop below last week's low near the 55,653 zone. This would confirm a forthcoming lower low. We could then aim for that 100-day EMA right here, and then yep, slowly we could continue aiming for this upside support line, just to see if we actually get a nice test of it or not. But for the upside, well, pretty straightforward. Actually, I would like to see maybe a break of this downside line and a push above this 60,945 level, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. At the same time, we could climb above that 21-day EMA as well, where more buyers could see this as maybe a better opportunity to step in. Now jumping into a few pairs very quickly, guys, on that one. So AUD and ZD, my favorite one. It's a little bit of a mess here, and to be honest, it seems like it formed somewhat of an island reversal here, and especially with this candle right here, the 19th of November candle, and today we're seeing a nice push higher. However, of course, I'll keep an eye on this level, because at the moment this 1.0350 zone somehow is doing its job and providing a bit of a resistance here, something like that. So if we do push above it and stay above it, then yeah, so maybe I'll consider a bit of a something like this here. And then yeah, we will kind of take it from there. So you can see that we formed the low last week near this 1.0315 territory. But if that gets broken, then of course this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and my next target is the 1.0280 zone right here, marked by the lowest point of September. For the upside, now here a few adjustments have to be made. Let me just recycle one of these lines here. So for the upside, now it's a little bit of a difficult one. Probably the safer option is to wait for a break of this upper side of the falling channel and then target the upside. In terms of levels, I would say this one is no longer valid. Probably it's better to right now just to wait for a break of this downside line, and then yes, we could consider maybe a nice move to the upside. And as well, of course, one thing to kind of mention as well, guys, that maybe, just maybe, if we're looking at this one as a bit of a more broader picture, you can see that maybe this could be seen as a little kind of double bottom here, and then yes, we could see a nice push later on to the upside, maybe towards this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 29th of March. But again, let's not rush into anything yet. First, of course, if we're looking for some upside, then yes, a break of this downside line would be needed. At this point, all this area right here will be a little bit of a tricky one for me. Aud Usd, so this one fell below this upside line taken from the low the 20th of August, and yep, we fell below it on Friday, stayed below it, and today we're seeing a little bit of a retracement. However, this upside line is now acting as a nice area of resistance. So I'm going to keep an eye on the low of last week near the 0.7227. A nice good drop below it would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and my next target would be this lowest point of September here. And of course, after that, we could be aiming for the lowest point of August. Now, excuse me. Now, in terms of the upside, pretty straightforward. A push above this upside line and push above this downside line, taken from the high of the 2nd of November, would be needed. Until then, I'm just going to continue kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside. But as I said before, I need to see a nice good drop below the 0.7227 level. USD CAD, so pushing nicely to the upside, so everything's working out here in favor of the bulls. Now, we are still trading above this upside line, so from the technical side, yes, we are still kind of, the pair is still kind of showing willingness to travel higher. If you remember last week, I talked about this 1.2605 territory, and yep, we said that if we stay above it, then yes, I will aim for some higher levels. Well, we stayed above it, and yep, I'll continue aiming higher. Of course, the XY showing good kind of strength here, and the fact that oil is dropping lower, so everything's kind of working here in favor of the bulls. As I said, stronger dollar, weaker Canadian dollar, and yeah, that's the result we're getting right now. GBP and ZD, so this one is quite interesting. So we did push higher. Last week, initially on Monday, and then kind of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday started moving sideways a little bit. Maybe some would say it could be forming something of a possible bullish flag here. Could be the case, of course, don't get me wrong, but yeah, in the near term we might see a push higher, but let's not forget that we're still trading below this downside line, which could provide resistance, and if so, then something like this could be possible right here. If you're not really comfortable with such a scenario, then of course also you could keep an eye on this little short-term tentative upside line as well. So yep, which if broken, yep, might open the door towards lower levels. But again, let's be very careful for now. Let me just reuse this line and draw it this way. And yeah, for the upside, if you're looking for larger extensions to the upside, then well, a break of this downside line is needed. Quick update on Eurocad here. So it continues to trade below this downside line. So I talked about this one, and yeah, so far, I mean, the direction is still to the downside. However, for me, I would, in order to aim for lower levels, I would like to see a drop below this 1.4177 territory right here. This would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and further declines could be possible. For the upside, I will actually, well, previously I talked about this 1.4442 territory, but if already we would see, let's say, a nice good break of this downside line, and then we see a push over this 1.4358 zone. At the same time, the pair would be placed above the 21-day EMA, and more buyers could join in. So keep that in mind. Euro JPY. So I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but basically, yep, after it kind of violated the lower side of this falling channel, it kind of showed a steeper decline here. We drifted lower. We found support near the 128.60 zone. We're currently getting a hold up there. At one point, we did drop towards this highlighted territory I mentioned before. This 127.94, 93 level, approximately around here. And yeah, so we felt that area. We found support here, and maybe, just maybe, we could see maybe a little rebound here back up, but of course let's not rush into anything. So however, considering that maybe this idea to be possible, if we do retrace back up but find, let's say, resistance near this upside line, the one that got broken around here, we could also test this 200-day EMA, and if all that provides good resistance, another slide might be possible. So keep that in mind. But at the moment, if we do see a slide, I'm going to only aim for this 127.93 territory. And finally, EURUSD. So looking quite bearish, of course. We're near this 1.1255 territory right here. So in order to aim for lower levels, a drop below that area is needed. This would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, potentially more more sellers could join in. My next target will be, of course, this 1.1169 territory, and then yes, we could take it from there. That's the this level marks the low of the 22nd of June, and we'll see how this can play out further. But again, at the moment, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside. Leaning a little bit more towards the downside here, especially if we drop below that 1.1255 territory. For the upside, for maybe a little bit of a larger correction to the upside, push back above this 1.1374 territory might do the trick for a few more buyers, at least up until maybe they could drive this pair up until this downside resistance line. So guys, that's kind of it for this session. I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys. So yep, if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, so lose at my Traders Espresso. That's 7 o'clock GMT time for now. Have a wonderful trading day, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.